What happened to the Arsenal team that showed up against Real Madrid, and why didn't they show up today? I am so disappointed at what I just watched today against PSG. I was expecting so much from Arsenal. We were expecting so much more from Arsenal. I was expecting that Arsenal would probably score 2 goals and have, 2 goals advantage when they go to PSG. But we just saw that Arsenal lost today to PSG, 1-0 at Emirates. And PSG didn't even show up strong. PSG squad that showed up today did not show up strong. The one that played against Aston Villa showed up stronger than this one. And Arsenal couldn't just put it together. Couldn't just, put the ball in the net. The only ball that came into the net was an offside. Well, that's not my business, but with the kind of class and quality Arsenal showed when they played against Real Madrid, I expected them to replicate it and get an easy win into the final. I am not discrediting. I'm not saying that you're already out or you cannot win when you go to the second leg. But what I'm saying is that you've made it very difficult for you guys to even get to the semifinals, to get to the finals. Because if you had won today, I would know that it might just be a walk in the park when you go to play PSG in their home. PSG might be strong in their home. You don't expect them to play very weak in their home. You guys had all the fans, everything to win today's game easily. But nothing, it didn't click. You guys didn't have the control of the midfield. Second half was even better. First half, you guys were just awful. Beginning of the game, PSG dominated. The goal was even scored in the first few minutes of the first half. And I was like, what happened? Arsenal couldn't even, pass the ball. Arsenal couldn't even complete passes. And it cost them this particular game because at the point where they had settled to get goals in, it wasn't just forthcoming. And even when you guys were even struggling trying to score, you were not just clicking. At some point, Lewis Kelly was quiet. Declan Rice was quiet. I didn't even know Declan Rice was in the game at all. Odegaard was in the game, but we couldn't even see the impact of Odegaard. The only person that didn't play today was Thomas Partey. And I cannot say because Thomas Partey did not play, that's why you guys played this awful. So what is the excuse exactly? What excuse would you say happened that Arsenal couldn't score? Because what I think has happened was that Arsenal went into this game with so much confidence. You guys were so confident that you're going to trash PSG, and PSG were looking like the underdogs before the match. This is football. You don't underrate anybody. Because Arsenal underrated PSG, and Arsenal thought that PSG would be an easier team to play compared to Real Madrid. And if you could beat Real Madrid that way, then PSG will be easier. But look at what has happened today. Saka had some chances, and although he didn't even have so much time on the ball because PSG, they were never giving him breathing space. When Saka was on the ball, they had 2, 3, 4 men marking him. He couldn't do those things he naturally do in a game because he didn't have the chance to do that. Now, Arsenal will be going to play second leg with 1-goal deficit, which gives PSG an upper hand. I'm not writing Arsenal off. I'm not saying they cannot go and do it in the second leg. They've done it before. Arsenal can always come back from, behind. But I felt like this particular game could have been won easily if Arsenal played better. You guys were depending on set pieces. Maybe you had very few of them. And again, we can see that Arsenal needs a striker, because if you had a striker, 1 or 2 of those goals would have gone into the net and you could have scored. Look at the chance that they had. Dembele actually put it into the net. But Arsenal don't have this kind of striker. And that is where, in this kind of games, you see the need for a striker. I know we've overflogged the issue of striker and no striker, and that's water under the bridge. And even without a striker, Arsenal beat Real Madrid, so that's not the problem. But you don't show up in a game like this and you show up this way. No, you don't show up, because this would have been an easy walk in the park. Beginning of the game, Arsenal were the favourite to win. I was even hoping that they'll win 2 goals or 3 goals up, because we know that PSG are not even so strong. We have to wait for second leg, and I hope Arsenal can come back and win the second leg. If not, we know that there's no other title for Arsenal apart from this particular title, and this is the first time they would even win it if they manage to win it. I don't know if you guys want to drop your chance like that, if you want to let it go, just slide like that. But you guys have given so much. You've given so much. You've actually let go of every other competition because you want to win this one. And would you let it just slide towards the finish line? I don't think so. I don't think so. You want it to be like as like every other season, next season, next season. This is a chance for Arsenal to win this particular one because it's like the easiest for them so far. They beat Real Madrid, which are the most troublesome people or the favorites in this particular competition. So what is left? Just beat PSG and get to the finals and face whoever wins against Barcelona tomorrow. And let's just see Arsenal win something this particular season. Let me know your thought. Do you think Arsenal would come back and win against PSG, or do you think this is the end of the road for Arsenal and they're going to end this season without a single trophy?